Hello, dear test takers. Welcome to my Grammar for Success channel. I am Koresh Babu, a retired lecturer in English from Hyderabad. In today's video, I am going to explain the reading comprehension given in the 2022 Sbi Clerks Prelims question paper. All of you know pretty well that reading comprehension is all about reading the given passage faster and understanding it correctly. You also know that it is the most crucial ingredient in every competitive examination. It is also a major testing area where the candidate's ability of understanding the given passage is assessed. And it is a pity to note that most of the students, though they are well acquainted with the reading skills right from their school days, fail miserably in understanding the given passage within a stipulated time, and therefore it remains a hard nut to crack for most of the test takers. And the reading comprehension given in the 2022 question paper is really very lengthy, and therefore I am doing a special video on this reading comprehension, and a special video I am making on the grammar questions. Okay, please watch this video on reading comprehension and also the video made on the grammar questions given in the 2022 question paper. And if at all you really like these videos, please consider subscribing to my channel. Okay, and if possible, please share this video with your near and dear ones. Thank you so much. And one important note is I am going to upload many more videos like this in the days to come. If at all you encourage me, if at all you really like this kind of videos, okay, please tell me about your interest in these videos in the comment section. Okay, I'll be waiting for your response in the comment section. Please make use of the comment section and let me know your pulse. That's what I request you all, whether I should continue these videos or not. That I would like to know from you. Now let us get into the video. Okay, so let me tell you one very important thing before I start explaining the grammar questions given in the Sbi Clerks Prelims question paper. See, these grammar questions will be given either at the beginning of the question paper or at the end of the question paper. So here in 2022 question paper, the grammar questions were given at the end of the question paper, and that is why the question number has begun from 71. So here, without wasting my precious time, I would like to now just explain questions given in this particular question paper. So 71 to 79. What is this? Here, read the passage given below and answer the following questions. So that means, you are going to be given a question on RC. RC means reading comprehension. So reading comprehension is a very, very important aspect, and you have to concentrate more and more on this, because the bank test givers would like to see whether you are able to understand the matter given properly or not. So here also a passage is given. You have to read the passage and understand it thoroughly well, and afterwards you have to answer the questions given below. And here this is a PowerPoint presentation, and that's why I cannot come back to this slide again, and that's why please listen to this passage very carefully, okay, very attentively, right? And I'll explain this passage for you. What is this passage? Okay, here this passage is there, and let us now try to understand this passage. The onset of COVID-19 has brought to a halt an astonishing expansion of restaurants observed in the past decade. So what is that? Onset means the beginning of COVID-19. Okay, when the COVID-19 pandemic broke out in the world, what happened? That has brought to a halt. Brought to a halt means that has stopped what? An astonishing expansion of restaurants. Astonishing means very surprising, amazing. Expansion means growth. What? Of restaurants. So there used to be in the past decade an amazing growth of restaurants all over the world, and the beginning of COVID-19 has stopped all that expansion. okay, all that growth of the restaurants, okay, but being deprived of restaurants has made people realize how much they value them. And when these restaurants were closed, or they were when the people were deprived of these restaurants, then the people have realized how important they are in their life, how useful and helpful they are in their life. Okay, that point they have understood. And one more important thing, eating out, okay, eating out is a word, is a beautiful phrase. Eating out means, eating means you eat something. Eating out means eating outside. You understand that. As what do? You go to a restaurant, buy some meal, buy some food, and what is that? And eat it there instead of at home. That is called eating out, and fulfills needs which seem fundamental to human nature. That's the human nature. Basic human nature of the people is to go out to eat something, okay, and people generally get fed up with the food they eat in their homes, okay. Every day eating in their homes does not give them any color, give them any newness, okay. Routine, that becomes a routine thing for them. And that's why nowadays what people are doing, the people want to go out, especially at the weekends. They want to go to a nearby restaurant, a popular restaurant. They want to go there and they want to eat in that restaurant instead of at home. So that's called eating out fulfills needs which seem fundamental to human nature. And people need to socialize by visiting the restaurants. What do they want to do? They want to socialize. That means, they want to meet other people. They want to spend time with other people. When you go to a restaurant, you come across so many kinds of people, and you want to meet all of them. You want to spend time with all of them, and to seal deals and to make some agreements also. You go to the restaurants. People go to the restaurants to make some agreements. Suppose some agreements are to be made. To make an agreement, they go to a nearby hotel. Sitting in a hotel, they discuss various things, and because it will be calm and quiet, and that provides them free atmosphere, lonely atmosphere, and they can discuss everything very freely. And that's why, and they can make deals. They can make deals means they can make agreements, okay, to peer at their fellow human. To peer at means to meet their fellow human beings also. So meeting the fellow human beings, making deals, and spending time with others, all these things are the advantages. People therefore want to go to the restaurants. Okay, this paragraph is over, and now you go to the next paragraph. People have long feasted out the home. Generally people are in the habit of going out to drink and eat a lot, especially on special occasions. For example, birthday is there, it's a special occasion. Marriage day is a special occasion. Promotion ceremony, whatever it is, you celebrate your special occasions in the hotels nowadays. So you enjoy yourself. How? Eating and drinking a lot. Okay, that is called feasting. So people are in the habit of feasting themselves outside the home. And before the use of coal became widespread in England in the 17th century. So in the 17th century, what happened? Coal became widespread in England. And but before that, what is that? Before, preparing food at home involved spending a lot of wood and peat. And preparing food has become a difficult thing for the people, because in those days they made use of wood for preparing food, and they also used peat. Peat means biogas or biofuel, something like that. Okay, they depended on this wood and peat for preparing their food. Okay, and today dining out is seen an indulgence. And here today, nowadays what is happening, eating out, that means eating outside, has been considered an indulgence. An indulgence means a pleasure, an act of pleasure, an act of luxury, an act of binge. Binge means enjoying something, especially eating, enjoying something. People of Hyderabad, especially, not only Hyderabad, people of in all the cities are on binging themselves on chicken biryani or mutton biryani, something like that. They want to enjoy, okay, themselves. How? Eating biryanis and everything, every weekend they go out. So it's called indulgence. Wasting money, of course, you can prepare that food at home, but it consumes a lot of time and a lot of effort, yes. But it was the cheapest way to eat for most of human history. So when you go to the nearby, go to a restaurant, eat there, it becomes actually less. Of course, today GST, some taxes are added, and food might become a little bit costlier. Even then, the people are interested in going to the restaurants and eat out. Okay, they want to eat in a restaurant, they want to eat there. Okay, and that they are not caring for expenses. That's the cheapest way to eat for most of it. But by the 18th century, capitalism took off. By the 18th century, capitalism took off. Capitalism means what? It's an economic system in which property, businesses, and industry are owned by the people themselves and not by the government. Okay, you can start any business you like and you can earn anything you like. You can start your own industry, you can start your own property business, whatever you can do. So that is called capitalism. That capitalism took off. Took off means what? Took off means became successful and popular very fast. Then in the 18th century. And that's why people had money with them. Lot of money. They did business, they ran industries, okay, they did property business, and they got so much of money. They were full of money. And that's why public spaces became sites of rational dialogue which were open to all. And eating out became less of communal activity focused on calorie intake. And people are nowadays not thinking of this eating out a communal activity which focuses on calorie intake, but they are thinking it is a cultural experience where people could show off their wealth, because in those days, because they are in the days of capitalism, you can do any business, you can earn any amount. So people had so much of money at that time, and now they wanted to show off their money. They wanted to show off their lavishness. That was the time. So that is there. Now let's move on to the next slide for the remaining passage. Okay, in the examinations, not a small passage is being given, but a lengthy passage is given that you have to read very quickly. And I'm going to make, if at all your response to this video is positive, I'm going to make a video on how to deal with reading comprehension questions. I'm going to make a video on that, half-an-hour video. Please watch that and it will be wonderful. I'm going to show you some tips and techniques also. Please try to watch that. And now let's move on to the remaining part of the passage. Okay. This is the remaining part of the passage. Okay. By the 20th century, however, cooking at home was becoming ever easier. By the 20th century, cooking has become easier. Average house sizes grew. Okay, average houses, a 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, big houses. What is that? Appliances such as the food processor and the dishwasher reduced preparation and cleanup times. And even today, even lower middle class families are also making use of rice cookers, dishwashers and processors, what not. Latest kitchen appliances they are making use of. Okay, and what is the result of these appliances? They reduce your preparation time and also cleanup times. Preparation time it will take. You want to make some chutney, and if you just make use of a mixie, and it will be done within minutes. But in those days, the item used to take a lot of time, right? And cleaning up times are also saved here because of these latest appliances. Dining out, eating out, dining out, both are the same, became relatively more expensive. And even then, these dining out, that means restaurant expenses have become relatively expensive. And that's very important. Even then, what happened? A few economic changes ensured that demand for restaurants grew despite rising prices. In spite of rising prices, the demand for restaurants has grown up because the people are doing some business. They have to work more hours and they don't find time to prepare their own food. And that's why they have to go to the hotels inevitably. And that's why the restaurant owners have understood the inevitability of the people, and that's why they have increased the prices of the items they sell in that restaurant. It's an inevitable thing for the people nowadays. One of them is, some economic changes have taken. What is that? Economic immigration. And one of them is immigration. Over the last century, the net flow migrants into rich country. Immigration means going to other countries and settling down there and working. That is called immigration. Okay, the net flow of migrants into rich countries. Now, many people are going to America to work there, to live there and work there. Not only to America, but also to most of the Western countries, Australia, New Zealand. These are all the rich countries. People are going there. They are called migrants. Okay, they are going to rich countries, and relative to population, more than quadrupled. And the net flow of migrants, the net flow means the net people going to those countries has become quadrupled. Quadrupled means what? Has risen 4 times bigger. Starting a restaurant is a good career. Really, it's a good career. It's a good job. It's a good profession. And because very recently in our place, 5-6 software professionals have come together and they have started a hotel, and now they are reaping wonderful profits. Migrants also tend to improve the quality of areas, restaurants, and they are also maintaining good quality in the restaurants. Okay, right. Another factor was changing work patterns, and another factor is here changing work patterns. What is the work pattern? Historically, poor people have tended to work longer hours than the rich ones. Earlier, poor people used to work more hours than the rich people. But now what happened? But in the latter half of the 20th century, the opposite became true. So in the latter part of the 20th century, that situation has become reversed. That means, poor people have started working for less time, and the rich people are working for more hours. Okay. The upshot, the result of this was that people with the most money to spend on dining out increasingly needed it most. And the upshot means what? This is underlined or colored. These two words are underlined or colored in this passage. The test giver is going to ask you some questions on these two things. Please keep these two words in your mind and write. The upshot means the result or the outcome. The consequence was that what happened because of this work pattern? What people with the most money to spend on dining out increasingly needed it most, and people who are earning more and more wanted these restaurants more and more because they had the least free time. You are working more hours to get more salary, then you don't find any time to prepare your own food, and that is why these rich people who are working for more hours need these restaurants more and more because they don't find free time to prepare their own food, and that is not there. And you go to the last paragraph. The pandemic has led to many people buying more takeout than before. This pandemic means this COVID-19 has led to many people buying more takeout. Takeout is there. Takeout means, meal that you buy in a restaurant and take it home and eat there. It's called takeout. Takeout is what? Let me write here, please. Takeout. Okay. Takeout. This must be written like this. This takeout is an American English word, and the British English word is there. Takeaway. Takeaway is a British English word. And here, takeout is an American word. Generally, we don't use this word in India, and it is there. We only use the British English word. Take away, right? Anyway, this pandemic, because of this COVID-19, what happened? People stopped going to the restaurants, but simply they ordered the food they wanted. When the owner of that restaurant says your parcel is ready, then he will go and pick it and take it home, and then they used to eat at home. So that is called takeout. So than before. Even today also, people are getting the food from the restaurants. They don't want to go to the restaurants and sit in the restaurant and wait for the waiter to bring all the food items ordered. So that time they don't like to waste, and that's why I can say apps, the companies Swiggy and Zomato have come into existence because of this kind of problem, right? And now you understand that. And while others have a newfound love of cooking, and others are enjoying cooking. Okay, they are enjoying cooking at home, and they find some kind of pleasure in cooking for themselves. Okay, that is also there. So that means dash. Here one dash is given. Here two words are underlined or what's that, colored. Please keep this dash. What is the word to be used in this dash? Then that means dash still further from the utilitarian model. Utilitarian model means useful model or effective model of the 18th century. This means this is buying food in the hotel and bringing it home and eating at home. That is one style. So this means dash still further from the utilitarian model of the 18th century. In the 18th century, what happened? When the people went to the hotel, they used to eat food there in the hotel itself. But nowadays the times have changed, and the people are buying food in the hotel and bringing it home, and there at home they are eating. That's there. Okay, and instead of doubling on what they do best, offering those who need to eat a lot of romance, glamour and love. So here, and the people nowadays don't want to waste their precious time in preparing food, and they want to order some very tasty food. And that's why in my place, Hyderabad, you can find there are so many biryani centers, okay, bawarchis, okay, various, and you need not go to that place, okay. So many restaurants you can find in Hyderabad, and just you take the help of Swiggy or Zomato, and you just order whatever the food you want, and they will bring it to you within a few minutes. And here, this is the passage all about the restaurant business, the growth of restaurants, and the behavior of the people, okay. It's all there, okay. They are switching over to restaurant food instead of home food, and all such things you have come to know in this passage, okay. This passage you have to read in just 2-3 minutes only. Really, it's a very lengthy passage. Of course, very easy, but a lengthy passage. While reading this passage, what to keep in mind and what not to keep in mind, all these things I will teach you in a separate video, okay. And that is, I'm damn sure about that video will be of great help to you. The techniques of dealing with reading comprehension. That will be the title of that video. Please watch that video. You will find it very useful and helpful to you. Right. And now let's move on to the questions given under this passage. Okay. Now 71st question is there. What effect of the pandemic? Pandemic means COVID-19 is a pandemic. Pandemic means it's a disease that spreads all over a place. Okay. What is the effect of the pandemic on the restaurants? What is mentioned in the passage by the author? Let us see that here. 4 options are given here. A severe lack of essential items has hindered the supply chain of restaurants. No, this is not at all mentioned in the passage, right? The period during the pandemic led to a stop in the growth of restaurants. Yes, this is the right one. Yes, the pandemic, during the period of pandemic, what happened? It has led to a stop. It has brought to a standstill. It has brought to a stop, okay, in the growth of the restaurants. People have stopped going to the restaurant because lockdowns were imposed during that period. And then where is the question of running the restaurants? That's why the growth of restaurants stopped here, right? And C is there. The pandemic has made people realize the allure of eating at restaurants. No, this is wrong. This is not mentioned anywhere in the passage. Okay. Restaurants observe less customers due to a fear of lack of social distancing measures. Okay. This is also not correct. Due to the continuous waves of the pandemic, restaurants struggle to remain open. Okay. So these may be correct, but they are not mentioned in the passage. Okay, according to the author in the passage, this is only the right one. Because of the COVID-19 pandemic, the growth of the restaurants has come to a halt. Halt means stop. So your answer is going to be B. Okay, right. And now let's go to the 72nd question. 72nd question. What compelled rich people to start eating out? Let us see the options given here. Public spaces become safer for citizens. Okay, maybe correct, but it's not given in the passage. The rise of capitalism in the market. Okay, rise of the capitalism means running your own business. Okay, running your own property business, running your own industry, and therefore you get ample money, a lot of money. So this is the reason. No? This compelled the rise of money, the rise of capitalism in the market. Because of this capitalism, people have got more money in their purses, right? And this is one reason, being able to show off wealth to others. And this is another reason. These 2 reasons are mentioned in that second paragraph, right? And here I cannot go back to the passage. Okay, and this is a PowerPoint presentation, and that's why I have taken this passage with me. So here it is mentioned, but by the 18th century, capitalism took off. Public places became sites of rational dialogue which were open to all. And the next item is a place where people could shop their wealth. So this is the matter written here. According to this passage 2, paragraph 2, you can find these 2 things. Because of these 2 reasons, what happened? The rich people started eating out. So that's why, okay, B and C, this is there. So I had better say now, okay, this D is the right one. Okay, these 2 things are combined in this D, and therefore your answer is going to be D. And right, and now let's move on to the next question. 73rd question. According to the passage, please, according to the passage, why did people prefer eating out before the 17th century? Why did they start eating out before the 17th century? Only before the 17th century, the preparation of food was a tough job for them, because they had to depend on wood and peat for preparing food, and that's why that was a difficult job for them to prepare food for them. Let us see the options. Eating at restaurants was cheap for people than cooking food. So this very first one is the right one. Eating at restaurants was cheaper than cooking food. This is given in the passage. Okay, today dining out is seen as an indulgence, okay, but it was the cheapest way to eat for most of human history. So this is mentioned in that, okay, and that's why this option is the right option. And restaurants provided a convenient way for people to have food. No. Okay, restaurants cater to all classes of society. No. This may be correct, but it is not mentioned in the passage. What does he say? According to the passage. You must answer the questions only according to the passage, not going out of the passage. Okay, right. And this is a wrong. Only the first one, A, is the right one. Okay, right. You go to the next question. 74th question is there. What conundrum does the author present against the growth of restaurants the past century? What conundrum? Conundrum means what? Secret. What secret does the author present against the growth of restaurants? What did he present? What secret does he present in this passage against the growth of restaurants? What is that? Let us see the option. Despite the economic instability during the period, restaurants continued to grow. Is this the right one? No. Restaurants were popular despite industrialization, leading to many people becoming poor. No. And the interest in restaurants peaked. Peaked means increased in the period despite many nations being war-ridden. No. The growth of restaurants despite cooking becoming cheaper and more convenient. This is very important. Afterwards, before the 17th century, the cooking was very difficult for the people, because they had to depend on wood and peat. You know that very well. But after that, when coal became widespread, coal became available to all the people. Okay, and then what happened? Cooking became cheaper and also easier and convenient. Even then, the restaurants have grown tremendously, amazingly. So this is the secret. Even though these things happened, there was the growth of restaurants. So this is what he mentions in that passage. And the third one, the deadly plagues. He did not mention anything about the plagues at all. Plague was a terrible disease which killed lakhs of people many years ago, just like COVID-19. Okay, this was not mentioned anywhere in the passage. This was not mentioned anywhere in the passage. Nowhere it was. They were mentioned in the passage. Only this was mentioned. Though the cooking became cheaper and more convenient, the restaurants have grown tremendously. Right. Now let's go to the next question. 75th question is there. How did migrants contribute to a rise in the growth of restaurants? How did they contribute to the rise of the growth of restaurants? Means here, let us see that. Let us see the migrants added to the population of a country. Of course, when the migrants go there, the population of the country will increase. Thus, contributed to increased consumption? No. A significant portion of the migrant population started restaurants in the countries they came to. Okay, this may be the right one. A significant portion of the migrant population started restaurants in the countries they came to. That must be the right one. Countries with a high rate of immigration gave relaxation. No. Okay, an immigrant population brought it with different, thus reviving interest. No. Restaurant cashed up on the opportunity to serve food to an immigrant population. No. So except this B, all other options are wrong because they are not mentioned in the passage at all. According to the passage, what was the contribution of these migrants? So they started, this is the contribution of the migrant. They started restaurants in the countries they came to. They went to. This B is the right one. Right. Okay. 76th one. According to the passage, okay, which of the following is true regarding the influence of changing work patterns in the past century? What is the effect? What is the effect of the influence of changing work patterns? About the work patterns, I have told you one thing. What is that? Earlier, the poor used to work for more hours than the rich. But later on, that situation became reversed, and the rich started working for more hours than the poor, okay, because they wanted more money to spend their money on food and other lavish things, okay. For that purpose they worked more. So that's why. So that's the changing work pattern, okay, in the past century. So here these are the four options. Poor people stopped eating out as much they would. No, it's not according to the passage, not out of the passage, but according to the passage. Restaurants improved their service to cater to more people for a longer time. No, rich people having more money would want to spend more on their indulgences. This may be the correct one, okay. People earning more often had less time. Okay, this is not this one, okay. People earning more often had less time. Sir, this is time. This is time, please. Okay, time to cook food at home. So that is the reason. Because of the change of the work pattern, they did not find time to cook food for themselves. So this is given in the passage. Let me show you this in the passage. Since they had the least free time, that is the point mentioned here. So here, people earning more often had less time to cook food. Because of this, the change of work pattern has this effect on people. What is that? They earned more, but they didn't find more time to cook food for themselves. According to the passage, this is only the right one. D is the right one, not others. Now let's move on to the next question. 77th question is that which of the following words can most appropriately fill the blank given in the passage? Okay, what is the passage? Let us see the options. Okay, here options are given, and what is the, so this is in the last, this blank is given in the last passage, last paragraph. That means dash still further from the utilitarian model of the 18th century and before. That is given. So what should be used in that blank? Which word can fit appropriately in the blank? So that is what he says. And here 1, 2, 5 words are given, and that means dash still further. Dash still further. Dash means coping, closing, making, moving, living. I'll give you the meaning of these 5 words, and you can easily use the right word in the blank. Okay, coping means dealing successfully with a difficult problem. Closing means the act of closing. Okay, the act of winding up something. Winding up means closing. Making means the act of doing or performing or making, whatever it is. Moving means the act of moving, movement, motion, the act of moving something from one place to another place. Living means the act of living. Living means existing, surviving. So these are all the meanings of these words. And here in this passage, that means dash still further. Coping still further? No. Closing still further? No. Making still further? No. Moving still further. Moving still further. From further. Further what? Further from the utilitarian model of the 18th century and before. Okay, 18th century and before 18th century, there used to be an effective, useful model of cooking. Okay, they used to prepare their food. Most of the people used to prepare their food on their own. Okay, that was there. But here and now, from that situation, they used to prepare food for themselves in those days. But afterwards, what happened? They started going to the hotels for their food. So that was the change. So in this blank, moving should be used. So what is the D is the right answer here. Right, and A, B, C, E are wrong. Only the D one is the right one in the blank. And now you go to the next one. What is the 78th one is there? Which of the following words is most similar in meaning to the word flow as is highlighted in the passage? In the passage, this word flow is highlighted. I have just colored it in red. Okay, and it was in that way highlighted in the passage. So here, what is the meaning of this? What is the similar word? That means synonym. Similar word means synonym of this flow. What are the options given here? Movement, implication, obstruction, deduction, increase. Okay, of these 5 words, this is only the right one. All others are wrong. Why? It is because movement means motion. So here in the passage, it is clearly given that over the last century, the net flow of migrants movement, The net flow means the net movement of migrants, motion of migrants, the moving of migrants from one country to another country. That is called flow. That's why here the writer of the passage says, over the last century, the net flow of migrants into rich countries, the net movement of the migrants into rich countries. Movement, this is the right one. And implication means that which is implied, that which is understood, that's implied. Implication means result, result, outcome, or something like that. Abstraction means the act of obstructing something. Okay, the closure of the passage, the door, or something like that. Obstruction. Deduction means the process of deducting some amount from the total. Increase means that very well, the act of making it bigger. Increase. Okay, right. Okay, these B, C, D, E are wrong, and only this first one is the right one. And you go to the next one, last one of the passage. Choose the right word. Choose the word that can most appropriately replace the highlighted word. Upshot. Upshot is there. I have already told you about the upshot. The upshot of the change of the work pattern. The upshot means the result of the change of the work pattern. What happened? The rich started working for more hours, and as they worked for more hours, what happened? For money's sake, they did not find more time and for preparing food, and that's why they depended largely on the restaurants. That is there. The upshot. Upshot means what? Here, reminder. Reminder means that which reminds. Now, history means an account of incidents happened over a period. Okay, it's not. Requirement means that which is required. Okay, right. Consequence means result. Okay, outcome. This is the right one. A condition means that state of something. That is the condition. Okay, so here A, B, C, E, these four are wrong, and only the D one is the right one. So upshot means consequence. Upshot means result or outcome. The result of the change of work pattern, the consequence of the change of work pattern. So like that. Okay, and here and now in this way you have to answer this passage. Thank you so much for watching this video. And if you find any problem in understanding any aspect, please make a mention of that in the comment section. Okay, with another beautiful video, I'll be back to you. Until then, bye. See all of you.